I discovered this back in the summertime. I just got to get down here. It's a really cold day. I actually came out here today because I was going to try photographing some beavers. But it appears the storm we had 2 weeks ago completely washed out their dam. They had a dam blocking both of these. And I was going to set up a trail camera for a few days to try to photograph them. But I guess I can just show you the culvert since their dam is washed out. So, I discovered this place in the summertime, and there was a huge beaver dam. I think that's their dam, all this debris. Along with this, I will post a video showing this place and what it looked like in the summertime. So this culvert here has got to be at least 15 feet tall. It's fairly new because there's no cracking or rust marks yet. It's got a rough cement floor, so there's no chance of slipping. So at the end of this thing, there was a beaver dam holding back a few feet of water. And by looking at satellite images, it's been here for about 6 years at least. Right now it's about 6:45 a.m. December 1st. I thought this was going to be my last few days to get out here because we're supposed to have a big snowstorm. And this culvert gets really icy in the winter. Okay, see that? That's part of their dam to the left. I cannot believe it got washed out. That thing that was here. Okay, so this is what we got for the beaver dam left over. This dam went all the way across. Look over there. You still got part of it, pieces of it. Like this thing was like this tall on that side because two big trees washed up against it and it gave the beavers an opportunity to start building. I didn't even realize the concrete went out this far. I'm assuming it was a storm since it was here for so long. I don't see why they'd intentionally remove it since the water would never get that high. I actually thought that was tread marks, but there's really no way they brought a vehicle down here. So, some big culverts here. I doubt the Beavers will start construction again this year. Like, this was their secondary dam. Their big dam is a little bit further up here. Back in the summer I walked up this a ways. So all this was a marsh. That dam getting washed out destroyed this marsh. All this was underwater. So my plans this morning, I was actually going to put a trail camera that I have on that little tree, and with my hand I was intentionally going to break a little part of the dam so I could get footage of the beavers repairing it overnight, because beavers do not hibernate. They're active year around. They actually store their food under the ice so they don't have to leave. But I have caught beavers on my trail cameras walking around during a snowstorm. So we're gonna walk back through the other side. I highly doubt they're gonna repair the dam, since the reason they started building it is because they had a whole bunch of these bigger logs to start with. This here is the biggest culvert I know about. Now this thing wasn't here about a month ago. I was here earlier in the summer, and there was a huge beaver dam here. Today I'm back and it is gone. I'm going to show you some before and afters of the beaver dam. So this is before. The dam is holding back a few feet of water, and this is today. It broke and there's a bunch of beach showing. This is a few months ago, all those big tree branches that the beavers built their dam against. Then a big storm came and the storm surge just snapped it in half. Now you can see the nice big pond they had in the middle was about 4 feet deep, and now it's completely drained and we have a bunch of beaches showing. So there's no more habitat left for the beaver until they build their dam back. Here's a good example. You can see how big the pond really was. It created a whole bunch of marshland, and now it's drained back down completely. Here you can see how deep the water is, and now it is drained back down and there's a big sandbar exposed. Here's a good example of the beaver dam. The marshland is so nice and green, a whole bunch of water plants, cattails next year. This stuff is not going to do so well because all the water is gone. Here you can see all the sticks the beavers chewed, and all that stuff completely washed out. I guess there is some damage in here. See the rebar starting to rust. As it rusts, it expands and it breaks away this concrete, and that just gets worse and worse, but that takes years to happen. This is really the only area that's starting. I don't see it anywhere else. So, when this thing flooded, the river got high enough to push all that debris over there. It got high enough to place all this stuff there, meaning all these woods must have gone underwater. And for that much water, I can't imagine how much must have been coming out of that thing. It must have been at least half full. Well, the river must have been high recently because you see all this grass is all pushed over. In the past few days, it must have gone up about 2 feet. But other than that, it couldn't have been much higher because you see how the leaves are stuck around the smaller trees. But that's not happening up here, so this is how high the water was recently. Enough to push this log here. Well, I hope this video was interesting. See, I had my trail camera and everything. I was going to leave it out here, try to get some beavers. But the beaver pond is gone. Dam broke. So I doubt they'll rebuild it since it's getting so cold out. They're going to be back at their main pond. At this time of year, you should never try to destroy a beaver dam because that's just a death sentence to the beavers. Because if they don't have a pond, they're not going to survive the winter because they need to live underneath all that ice. They can't survive with just a river. They need a pond. And this beaver dam here, the reason I never tried to destroy it, because what's the point? It was taking up like less than 25% of the culvert entrance. It's not like it would cause an issue. The beavers would never block that whole thing. And just like what happened here, the water got too strong and it just broke the whole thing. I don't destroy beaver dams unless I have to.